Good morning. I am fired up today. It's awesomeness. I started today. Oh God, sort my collar out. Started today meditating as normal and just absorbing a lot of vibes and thoughts and basically having a bit of a noticing moment to see what was going on inside, especially after my big epiphany from yesterday about the lotus flower. So if you haven't read that or watched it, watch it, read it. It's fascinating, in my opinion, analogy and symbol for the human mind. Anyway, so I was looking into that. So I started to find that there's quite a momentum with all of this. And I'm not the only one who's barking on about light and dark, that the lighter you get, the more shadow you get and all this stuff. So it was quite cool to find out that I'm not alone in that. And then this morning, a friend of mine, a new friend here in Sharjah, she sent me a link on Facebook about mindfulness. And it's a really, really cool little video. I'm going to put it on the Creatively Human page. I might even send it in the email. It's really, really cool. If you're not on my email list, get on my email list. I'll put a link onto it in the bottom of the videos. And if you haven't subscribed, subscribe, because I've got more of this good stuff to come. Anyway, so basically, it's about mindfulness and how it's not going to turn you, long story short, into a passive blob. But what it does is it allows you to have this superpower of noticing how you react to situations and people and making a choice about how you react. So not that you are the example they use is if you get cut up when you're driving. Big example living in the Middle East. So someone cuts in front of you, you get cut up, and then you feel the anger. And then, you've got two small kids in the car. Are you going to go and chase after these people and beat the daylights out of them? It's your choice. You get a choice. But if you recognize where that comes from, you can make an informed decision about what you're going to do next. So you can make a good decision based on what you know is right. Okay, so I'm fidgety. I'm really fidgety because I've got a lot of ideas. Anyway, so what did I do? What did I decide to do? Well, I thought, well, you know what? I'm a girl of action. So, I dwell on things as long as I need to, and then I make a choice, and then I'm going to go for it. So I decided that I was going to do a little experiment, and I was going to see if I could be triggered. And so I said, okay, let me be triggered. Something came up surrounding money, and I decided, there we go, that was a little trigger, thank you very much. And I looked at how I allowed that trigger into my physical body and into my psyche, and what I decided to do with it. Well, I decided to do what I could, and then I just decided to put it down, because I don't really feel like getting caught up in a drama surrounding money. It's just like, well, I'll do what I can, and what I can't do, I'll let go. And I can't really worry about too many ifs. I'll just take care of what I can. So that was one. But I thought, it's not much. It's just boring. So I decided that I was going to go for a little bit of a bigger trigger. And so I was going through Facebook, and I saw this thing about, I think she's called, I'm going to have to be careful because I'll call her Katie Holmes, but she's not. Katie Holmes was married to Tom Cruise. Katie Hopkins. I've seen her in the British media a lot, especially surrounding the death of Peaches Geldof. I didn't understand why. I don't know who this woman is. I didn't really feel like feeding into that little drama, and I didn't want anything to do with it. However, today I thought, you know what? Let's try it. So I watched this morning, ITV this morning. It was like a little soundbite from their show. It's a little like, watch this, see how great we are. Watch our program every morning. Fair enough. It's advertising. Anyway, so I watched it, and there you've got Philip Schofield, nation sweetheart. He's been around since we were little. He's been on, what's it called with the ship? Sugarations, I can't remember. Anyway, he's been on TV since I was little, with his co-host, Holly, whatever her name is, and she's gorgeous. She's emotional when she needs to be. She's cheeky when she needs to be. She's a nation sweetheart, right? So you got these two nation sweethearts showing the light in your morning, sat across from Anna May, this one lady, and this woman called Katie Hopkins, and they were debating. Katie Hopkins was putting on the floor that she judges other people's children, or she judges other children by their names, and that decides whether or not her children could be friends with them. And this is a big trigger for me. With a name like Anna Louise, shortened to Anna Lou, shortened to Lou by my family, raised in England, you're going to get some pretty nasty nicknames, right? Even to the point where your grandfather tries to soften it by calling you bog roll and saying, you see, it's not so bad. He was a lovely man, by the way. A very lovely man. But the thing is, there's a lot of triggers for me around children's names. And also then bear in mind that I have 2 children and my husband's Dutch, I'm English. We gave them Scandinavian names. We get some really interesting conversations surrounding our children's names. So names was a big trigger for me. And I sat there and I started listening to her debate, but it wasn't a debate. It was just a monologue, really. A prepped monologue about how she judges children by their names. And I felt it straight away, right in the center of my chest, right here, this like burning. My heart was pounding, complete indignation, anger, right? And I just went, oh, that's interesting. Okay. And you could see everybody in the studio having the same reaction, and that it was super intense. And I just looked at it and I went, oh, so that's why you're so famous. That's why everybody knows you. What you're doing, and I'm going to analyze it for you now, is that, so in the end, I started to just look at it as entertainment. It was very entertaining. And the thing is, she was aware of her talent, and her talent is to elicit this strong reaction from people. But she didn't completely get it. She was sitting there, and I almost felt sorry for her. I felt immense amounts of compassion for her, because she just didn't understand that what she was saying was wrong. And this, I found it very entertaining after I got over my own reaction. And then I decided to look at it. Well, why is she so famous? Why is she being able to get this response from people? And the fact is that she is very talented. She has a talent to trigger emotions in people. And what she's also doing is, so that's number one, she can trigger emotions in people. And number two, she represents the old order, the thing that we're trying to move away from. We're trying to move away from intolerance and bigotry. We're trying to move away from judging people by what they look like, their names and where they come from, the class they're in. We're trying to move away from the class system, right? We're trying to move away from all of that stuff. We're trying to move towards tolerance and harmony, unity and love and all of that good stuff. We're trying to move towards evolution, right? But she represents where we're coming from, and that elicits a reaction in people, and she gets people and she triggers their emotions by saying quite outspoken things which you wouldn't normally say in polite society, right? So she flops it out there. But what happens is she triggers the emotions. But then, so she's talking about the old ways, about the way that where we've come from. And then there's one more part of it that she brings up, and that is she triggers people's dark, suppressed, repressed side. She triggers the fear, the anxiety, the worry, the panic, the hatred, the anger. She triggers all of that. For me, growing up in England in a class society, you were always fed this golden carrot of you have to be from a certain class. If you're not from a certain class, you're not in a certain club, you're not going to get in the right places. I was from a family where my parents were the generation that broke the rules, right? So my parents changed their entire destiny through education. And that was a revolution in their time, and I'm very, very proud of my parents for changing that and to being part of that revolution. But what Katie Hopkins represents is the way it used to be before the revolution, before that initial revolution of education, right? She represents the old ways, and that old ways is what I grew up with, that friction between the revolution and the old ways of like class society. If you're not from this certain class, then you can't be in part of this club, and if you're not part of this club, then you're not going to be able to do these cool things, right? So she represents that as well. Now what that is all spawned out of is that pyramid system with the carrot, and where you're just being told, you know, you can't do this, da 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 da. What's that doing? It's creating a this us and them society, you know. It's them and us. We're in the group, they're out of it. So what you're doing is you're trying to evoke intolerance and bigotry and exclusion, whereas we're not trying to do that anymore. We're trying to include people. We're trying to teach our children not to exclude other people from groups. We're trying to move away from bullying. And a lot of people have had bullying experiences in their lives, and they've also been bullies in their lives. And that is that dark side of our humanity that she's one of many people who can just quickly evoke. And I think has a really big talent, but she's not in control of it. She doesn't have she's doing it, and I get why she's doing it. She wants to support her family, and she wants to be able to live her life the way she sees fit. And so she's using her talent in order to, support her family. At the end of the day, she's just like everybody else. But in revolutionary stakes, she represents everything that we still need to do. She represents everything, all the work that we still have to do. And how do we do that work? We do that work through mindful practice. And it's not called a practice for nothing. And also back to this video from this morning from my friend. And I will give a shout out if she gives me permission. And is that from the video was that in the 40s, if you told people you were going running, they would say, who are you running from? What are you running away from? It wasn't considered a thing that you do. It's like you live your life, you eat, work, dance, I don't know. But now exercise is a big thing that we have to do. And it's the same with brushing your teeth. If you didn't do it, we know that your teeth are going to fall out. Whereas like a couple of 100 years ago, they'd be like, ew, that's just gross. Don't want to put something in my mouth, I might get demons in my body. Whereas now people understand, and you would have taken one of those people from the past and said, let's start small. Let's start off by putting something in your mouth, and then we'll start by moving the brush over your teeth, and then we'll start by putting some like toothpaste on it, and then we'll build it up to like a minute, and then 2 minutes, and then 3 minutes, and then 3 minutes once a day, and then 3 minutes twice a day, and then 3 minutes, preferably 3 times a day. And so you'd build it up, but you'd have to say to them, okay, now you started this, you commit to it for every day for the rest of your life. And it's the same with mindful practice, that you can teach people this wonderful technique and this practice, but it's just like everything else. It's something you have to do every day. It's not just like, I've done my mindful practice, I've learned how to meditate. Oh, that's it. I'm enlightened, and that's it. Yes, you might be enlightened for a moment, but you're not awoken. You need to keep practicing it, because what you will realize by doing your mindful practice is that you are a complete being of light and dark, and that you always have to make sure that you are aware of both sides of yourself, and you're also aware of your triggers and your patterns and all the thought processes that you've had passed down to you through generations, which in fact are not bad things. They served our ancestors, but they don't serve us in our modern day, and they definitely don't serve the mindful revolution that we're going through, the evolution that we're going through right now, which is completely necessary to save our world and save our planet, because we all need to take responsibility for our own lives, and we all have to take responsibility for our creativity and our destructive natures, because every single day we are going about creating and destroying. It's just a fact. I drive a car. I am destroying the air that my children breathe. I'm aware of that. I am totally aware of it, and it could make me cry by how much I'm aware of it. And I really want to be able to move us on, but I have to start with myself, and that's where it comes down to. We will have a revolution. We will keep on evolving. We are going to save the world, but we start with ourselves, and we start with our mindful practice. And so there we go. That's what I did today. I allowed myself to be completely triggered, and it was quite awesome. It was very, very awesome. And I have to say that there's a few, what do they call it when you have an earthquake? Nabevelingen. I don't remember. And what are they called? Aftershocks. Aftershocks. There are a few aftershocks. Of course there are. And I can feel it every once in a while going bloop. But I look at it and I go, aha, you see, it's far-reaching. It's a far-reaching thing. And it's the same with people like, why is Donald Trump getting so many supporters? Because he represents something. He represents what we have to do. He represents a trigger, that he is a trigger. He's being able to trigger our emotions. And he's triggering a side of ourselves that we push down and do not acknowledge. You have to acknowledge your dark side. And I'm not saying that you have to start being led by your dark side. But if you do not acknowledge that you have a darker side to yourself, And while you're building up your light, then this is going to build up without you knowing. And then people like Donald Trump and Katie, whatever her name is, and other people, they're able to instantly tap into that and trigger you in any which way you can, normally through a very emotive subject, which then triggers your emotions and starts controlling your thoughts, and that starts to control your actions in your life. And nobody wants to be controlled by anybody else. Everybody wants to be in charge of their own lives, don't they? And that's how we start to save the world. Have a great day.